All right, everybody, welcome back to our Tri-State Training Day podcast. I got the Rookie of the Year with me. Hall of Fame producer, first year in the business, wrapped up Rookie of the Year, wrapped up the Hall of Fame producer, built an agency alongside his partner, Greg, and these dudes are just straight killing it. It's exciting to see what you're doing, Mr. Claeys. I got my man Andrew with me, who is just on fire. You had a heck of a year, 2023, and now on to 2024 and more. Fresh off convention, my friend. So I know the heat is inside of you. How are you today, sir?
Dude, I am phenomenal. Yeah, it's warming up here outside, and it's a good day, dude. I like it when it's sunny and I can walk out without a coat. So I like that.
Yeah, right. Especially where you live. You kidding me?
Dude, tell me about it, man.
No doubt. So, listen, man, you got into this business how long ago exactly?
So exactly, Greg went to a convention with his wife Chelsea last year in Miami. So what was that, first week of February? And then we made a decision to go all in like the second or third week of February. And then it took about a month, got licensed, got contracted, and started writing basically April 1st.
So you didn't even work a full year and you went Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So you saw this thing from day one. Yes?
Oh,
Andrew?
yeah. I mean, it took some time. It took me to ask a ton of questions, but when I was in, I'm in.
Well, I mean, you had 8 months of the year. I mean, how long did it take you to start? What was your first elite month? Elite production month?
First elite month. Let's see here. So April, I think I put up like 27, and then May was like in the 40s, and then it was like June or August that really ripped it. It was like I was in the 60s.
Oh, so 40 wasn't elite.
No, 60. No, not enough.
Come on, man.
Never satisfied.
Listen, when you said 27 your first month, I'm like, that's pretty good. I'm actually like, first month, that's really good. And you said 40s. I'm like, there it is. And not you. You're like, no, but in the 60s. Okay, so
No way, dude.
The reality is this, though. From my perspective, if I hired you, it didn't take you long. I don't care what you tell me. It didn't take you long at all. And then the curve that you broke pushed you into Hall of Fame status in 2023. That's a pretty eye-popping year. Would you agree with that? Even for you or your family, your wife, anybody?
Yeah. I just think it was exactly what I hate to say it, sound arrogant, but it was exactly what I expected would happen. Like I said, this is what's going to, and so it didn't surprise me. I told that to Greg. I was like, it is going to sting way worse if I get on that stage and they say you hit 396 than me being up at 10 o'clock at night writing a policy. I said, that's not an option. So yeah, we were jacked. I did.
So I love the commitment to goals. I love the commitment to a target. I love the commitment to the reverse engineering of, hey, I'm not going to be embarrassed at 396 at the warning track. I'm going to get to 400 families. And so you have to work backwards and know exactly what you need to hit each month, each quarter, how to round out the year. And you did that. And then, you guys also got the ground running on an agency. And so you came into 2024 probably feeling pretty triumphant, but at least, if not triumphant, at least very focused on gaining a ton of ground for 24. Yes? What was your mindset rolling into January?
Yeah, mindset rolling into January was, we did it. We're going to celebrate. But this was always ingrained in us from the car business was 0 to 0, man. Like, you've been here, cool, you've done it, celebrate. But it's time to get back to work, dude. Like, business doesn't stop. So that's where we're at. And we game plan. We said, hey, let's build some bigger goals that scare us. And here we are. We're strapping in and we're growing. So
I love it. So scary goals. What is the concept behind that?
Well, scary goals is the thought that we could 10x our business in a year. And so that's where we're at. So we were able to do just over $1 million this year. And our goal is to hit 10 million by the end of the year. It's not impossible.
No, it's not.
It's you just gotta just one step at a time. Personally, I mean, my goal, I just told you before we started, is there's not very many people that have been able to say they've gotten to wear all three jackets when it comes to annuity, personal production, and agency. So that's the goal, and yeah, that's what we're chasing. So
That's what's up, man. I love it so much. Now, 2024, we're here. Just came off annual convention. Tell me your thoughts on annual
oh,
convention. What
dude,
was some of your
dude,
takeaways?
stinking electric, baby. Like I'm jealous I missed it by a week last year, man. Like I
Mhm.
didn't like it was again, we didn't know what we didn't know. So I came back and Greg was telling me how incredible this thing was. It's legit. Like this is like like I said on stage, it's the F1 car of sales. So it's like this dude, we're just in the wrong car. There's nothing about it.
Mhm.
There you can have the best racer. If they're in the wrong car, you're capped. And so just to see that and then get to see it on stage and listen to these guys' stories. I mean, I was talking about it all the days after we were recapping and talking about Goggins' story and Shannon's story. And then it was cool to get to some of our guys were kind of spread out. So having them all in the same place and connect was that was a big part for me. I wanted our guys to grow in relationship and unity. So
Mm.
that was to get to do that and have them get all fired up was even more exciting, I'd say.
Yeah, man. I mean, jam-packed 4-day event,
Yeah.
and you had all those speakers, but you also had a team there. You also
Yeah.
had, I saw, I'm having a vision right now of Glenn running up the stage and running up the show. But you had a team there. You
Oh
had
man,
people. I mean, you
he's a
graced the
trip, dude.
stage quite a few times, um, and it was just awesome to watch
Yeah.
the manifestation, the actual,
Yeah.
work being manifested, and then the awards for your work. I mean, when
Yeah.
you think
That was
about
cool.
that and you reflect on it, you know, what kind of thoughts come to your mind?
Um, I mean, it just obviously, like you said, getting to see the hours and hours and hours and time away from my family. I mean, this whole year was was a journey because we got an office, we grew an agency, and in the midst of all of that, we had our first child. So literally, like getting like being home and if you've had kids, you know the journey of the first 6 months of waking up in the middle of the night and taking care of the baby and
Don't I know it?
try to stack all that with not even know what you're doing with starting a new business that you don't even know what you're doing. So there's just a lot of really unknown territory that honestly I will say I'm blessed that we have the mentors we do because there's no way we would have been able to have the massive growth we had if we didn't have somebody to mimic that on
Right.
and people to pour into us. And so that was the big part of that was having Joe and Gabe, having Mindy, like just having Matt and Mike, having those guys just pour into us was, I mean, in my opinion, was 99% of the reason why we were able to accomplish what we were able to. So,
I mean, with that level of lineup, that's a full cup. Like I don't know how your cup is
yeah,
never always running over. You know what I mean? Like you got
yeah,
it's just, and I mean, you get to pick and choose. Like on this, hey, this is
yeah,
my subject. I'm going here. Hey,
mm-hmm,
I'm going here. And so
mm-hmm,
that to me is gold. And but on top of that, the leader that you are. The fact that this is, you know, you draw a line in the sand, you go. You're not sitting here waiting
yeah,
for things to happen for you. You're not making excuses when things aren't going your way. You dig in your heels. You
yeah,
recreate yourself. You find out what you didn't do wrong. You go fix it and get it right. I mean, if you're talking to a new agent or a new agent on your team in regards to
yeah,
that, you know, who in regards to that mindset, who
yeah.
um, registered that the most to you from annual convention?
So who, like which speaker or which
Which
agent of
which
mine
which
would you say?
speaker? Which speaker?
Yeah. Um, hmm, which speaker? To be honest with you, the person that I thought actually did the most was Joe Basso. He talked about people over profit.
Yeah,
And that, in my eyes, is exactly the whole thing that I think was able to get us to the level we were is that
he
money's going to
killed it.
come, we'll get it. Yeah, it was. It was just people over profit. Like care about people more than you care about the business. Like, and the business will take care of itself.
Right.
So obviously, like I love the other one. Barbara was she's a legend in her own way. She's just incredible. I love Dave Anderson, you know, those guys, but I mean, those guys are doing business in general. Joe is like in the heart of it. He's done it. He's been through the thick of it. So he knows what it takes to build a big agency. And hearing that, I took that away, man. I was like, yeah, you're 100% right. Just care about the agent more than you care about the money, and it'll always take care of itself.
That's facts. And what's the best part about it is he said, when he came out, he said, I had a script on what I was going to go off of, but I decided to scrap it and just go from the heart. Yep. I love that. But he killed it, dude. He killed it.
I know.
You know, he had a rhythm for it. And so makes sense. And so when you that kind of recruit, when you're in there and you're fighting and you're battling and everything's not going your way, right? You can draw on that. People over profits. Dude, I'll be honest. I got to a stage in my career where I just knew it was a people game, right? It's just a people game. But it's having new blood all the time coming in, having new people to work with all the time, caring for people, you know, sometimes more than they care for themselves, believing in people, sometimes more than they believe in themselves, and not growing weary in the fact that people are going to tap, people are going to quit on themselves, people might burn out, people might, you know, have resentment in places. Not my fault, right? At some point in my career, I stopped making that my fault, and I kept an open heart for people, because without it, bro, you yourself can get very jaded, right? But with people over profit as your kind of resignation point and what your plans are for 2024, which is to 10x your deal, you've got to put that at the forefront. What is your plan for that? How exactly what is your strategy for going forth and making those goals reality?
Well, I've said this before, I think it starts with leading from the front. And so very rarely will you beat me. I hate to say it, it's not arrogant, but very rarely will you beat me. Because again, that's what a good leader does. Like, I'm in the trenches with you, and I'm the one that's helping you do it. And I'm understanding this with you. So it was fun to do the one-on-ones with my agents after we got back. And I mean, you should have heard how many guys were like, dude, I just envision myself up there with you next year wearing that red coat. And I was like, that's what it's all about, man. Like, they just like leading from the front. So that was the first thing. So I told that to Greg. I know a lot of times people in this business, when you start to build a big agency, you start to scale back on the writing because it takes time, right? You only have so much finite energy. So doing that, still leading from the front and still hitting Hall of Fame every year is, in my opinion, a bare minimum. And I think it's only going to get easier and easier, as some of the top producers have said. So that's the first thing. And I would say the second is spending that one-on-one time with the agents. Obviously, here's what I would say. I've learned over this last year that sometimes I think the agents need way more than they really do. And sometimes the agents, at the end of the day, I think agents just need to be told no. Like, I'm not available, and it's not to like be mean or malicious or like, hey, I'm not available, but it's literally just the thought. Like, I thought back through this year of like, what was able to get me going? Obviously the drive and just the training I had coming into this, I was blessed with, but overall it was just the fact that like there was nobody available all the time. Like, it was always like, sometimes I was in a situation where I'm like, crap, what do I do? And I just have to figure it out. You just figure it out. And that's just like, honestly, the power of that. Oh man, like it just, and in the moment you're like, this sucks. Like, why is you're frustrated. But at the end of the day, when you look back at it and you actually like are grateful for this opportunity, you realize, man, that's what I need. Like, you need to be able to just figure it out by yourself. Right. So there's a balance of that Greg and I are getting better at, of like figuring out, okay, like, you know, when is it okay to just let agents say, hey, like, we're busy, we're doing things, we still have to run our agency, but then they still making sure they don't ever feel like we're abandoning them or not available. So
huge. And that creates that level of independence. Eventually that creates that level of independence.
It's empowering. It's an empowering them too.
Correct.
So correct. It just grows.
Correct. And when you think about the development of agents and you think about the development of managers, and you think about the development of leaders, those are the levels. If you get to your goal, Andrew, you have developed agents, you've developed managers, and you've developed leaders or developing leaders. Because it's hard to go to that level if you don't have this group of, you need groups at every level, right? And so
Yeah, you do.
That's what Mindy's doing. Like, so your next level, like, does that make sense? And that's what Matt and Mike have already done.
Yeah. Yeah. What I would say, and this is something, again, lesson learned throughout this year, is we thought that it was a numbers game, right? We thought what Ruben came into this, we're going to rip it. We're going to recruit every single person we talk to, and kind of cast that wide net of like, hey, anybody can do this, but it's who's actually going to take it all in and actually take it and be grateful for it. But what I think I've realized, and especially after, again, the just last couple of days of getting to just recap with my guys, we did a one-on-one with each one of them and just said, what did you take away? What are your goals? What do you want to hit? And I just said it where these guys want to get to that level. They have something to strive towards where it's like, oh, I see it. I can envision it because I'm right there with you. And they see what I do on a daily basis of like, oh, I can do that. It's not that hard. It's just doing it. And so what I think happens then is if we try to recruit guys now when guys don't know what they're doing, well, we're just going to create more guys that know what they're doing. And then we're going to just phase out. People are going to leave because they don't know what they're doing. But if we get guys up to a Hall of Fame pace and they recruit now, they're going to recruit people that they are like them, like spirits find like spirits. So I think that's where we start getting savages and beasts. And Joe said it best. He was talking to his managers the other day, and I love what he said. He's like, he said, if you were to put all of you guys in a room, he goes, this is what I love about you. If you were to put all of you guys in a room and ask me who the best one is, I couldn't tell you. He goes, because you're all freaking savages. And I love that. Like, that's what I want. I'm like, man, I want to be able to put every one of my dudes in a room and be like, who's number one? And be like, I don't know. I don't know who's number one because it's just they're all savages.
Right.
And to me, I'd rather recruit it that way. And I'd rather just build that, even if it's a little slower than, just bringing in guys and then, just flowing out the back door. So that's kind of part of our strategy for this year too, is get our guys to a level where they're recruiting guys just like them, but it's at this elite level,
Yeah, I love it, man. I am sensing an eye of the tiger. The hairs on your back just ripped through the back of your shirt. I'm sensing some, some serious determination out of you.
We're just beyond blessed, man. Like I said that so many times in the last 24 hours in the last week. It's like just the fact that this exists and I know about it. Like most people, of course, they're skeptical because they don't know about it and they just think it can't be real. It literally is like, this cannot be real because of how incredible it really is. Obviously, there's some things to it, like there's some learning curves and all that stuff. But dude, once you just believe in it and you believe that it's real and this is real, that's when it gets fun, dude. Like it just gets fun, and that's where we're at. So we're all in.
Well, we are off to the races. The gun has gone off for 2024 annual convention is a wrap. So the momentum y'all got coming out of there is going to be phenomenal. You're going to see a major spike in your business. And cheers to 10X in the business in 2024.
Let's go, baby.
I believe. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do. Do you have what's your personal production goal for 2024?
$500,000. I want to do $500,000. And then, like I said, my other goal is to hit the 2 million annuity. So my goal is to hit 5 million annuity, but if we shoot for the moon and land on some stars, I'm okay. And then 10X the business. So it gets the green jacket at 10 million agency. So.
Let's go, bro. I believe, baby. You are a killer, Claeys. I appreciate you jumping on with me. Thank you so much for sharing. As I said, I'm sensing a real a sick, kind of, I'm going after this thing. So if we can help in any way, let us know. But I'm excited for you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Take care. God bless. Thank you for listening to Andrew Claeys. Killed it. Guys got a lot to go get this year. You can learn a lot from this podcast. Thank you, brother.